It is February 8th, 2019.
This is Nerd Bourbon, episode 88. I'm Seth Sturgill.
And I'm Todd Sturgill. You know what's funny? Like, every time I say my name, I just, for some reason in my mind, it's been like this for like ever. I just never do it. But I always want to say like, let's get right into the news or something. I don't know why.
You know, it's funny though, and it's a little bit apt that you say that, because this week we are going to get right into the news.
I know.
So we're going to do things a little bit differently this week, because we kind of realized that, you know, normally the sort of layout of the show is we have a little bit of opening banter, a little bit of that quality opening banter. Maybe I'll talk about, what will I talk about this week, Todd? Will I open the show talking about a poop story, or talking about a Hall's cough drop?
We haven't had a good poop story in a while.
We had a good poop story last week.
Did we?
Yes.
I don't even remember.
We talked about the poop in the Walmart aisle.
Oh. That's right.
So we open with some opening banter, then we talk about what we've been playing, and then we get into the news. It's funny because we sort of only recently hit that stride where we kind of realized a structure that we like. Been doing this show for going on 2 years.
You know, it's funny is we were recently complimented on that by a mutual friend.
Oh, about the news thing?
No, about like the format that we kind of found.
Oh, really? I don't remember hearing about that.
Yeah, I probably didn't tell you. Tyler, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, nice. Thanks, Tyler. Yeah, I didn't know about that. So that's typically what we do. But this week's going to be a little bit different, because we realized that, you know, you and I have both been playing really like one game. And so those are kind of meaty enough to where like we don't want to just front load the show with like the main meat of the show and then just end the show with some tepid news announcements and stuff like that, you know? So
yeah,
we sort of are going to do things backwards this week. We're going to lead with news and sort of organically work in the rest of the stuff and end the show with our kind of meatier topics, because the things that we've been playing are pretty big. And I think we both are going to have a lot to say about the things we've been playing. So I also wanted to say just real quick, this is something that you and I were talking about before we started recording. I do want to just say we've been doing a weekly Stardew Valley series on our YouTube channel. It's been a lot of fun. However, it is probably going to start slowing down, just so that people are kind of aware of that. I don't know what form that's going to take. I just don't know how we're going to fit in the recording of that show going forward, because more games are starting to come out. So especially with like Far Cry New Dawn, we're actually planning on recording our playthrough of that as well. So it's probably going to kind of take the place of Stardew Valley for a little bit. So it's going to be, in other words, it's going to be harder and harder to find time to play Stardew Valley for a little while. So the Stardew Valley series you may see that slow down. But I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe we'll find time to play Stardew Valley and everything will go the way it's been going. I don't know. But I'm just saying, don't be shocked if you start to see Stardew Valley kind of release a little more sporadically than it has been. Because for the past, 2-3 months that we've been doing this show, it's been coming out every week. Just to keep you, just to be transparent about that. But yeah, let's get right into it, man. Do you want to do your news intro now that we're actually going to be getting right into the news, as you say?
No. Continue.
Well, let's get right into the news, Todd. Developer Respawn Entertainment announced and released out of nowhere a new game this week.
Oh, we're jumping right into that, huh?
We're jumping right into it. This is the first news item I have here. It is the talk of the town, Apex Legends, which is a free-to-play battle royale shooter set in the Titanfall universe. Now, you and I played a few matches of this last night together. Well, probably played for, a couple hours maybe. What are your initial impressions?
So, from my the first game we played, it kind of clicked with me. I just enjoy playing Titanfall, even though that there is not a lot of what Titanfall is in the game.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, isn't it?
It's got a weird sort of thing going on with it. But there's a level of 3D movement, but nothing crazy.
Right.
but it's just mainly like you can like there's like a there's like a big like wall in front of you. You can basically get over that.
Yeah, there is mantling. There is like a, there's no fall damage and stuff like that. And the sort of
no fall damage is actually fucking nice.
That is nice. Yeah, actually, like that.
I think that's a smart move.
But in a lot of ways, like it doesn't super feel like Titanfall. Like you can tell
in a way it still does. In a way it still does to me.
It does in some ways for me, and it doesn't in other ways for me. I don't know. I mean, so here's the thing that should be noted right off the top. Like, Apex Legends, there are no Titans in the game at all. So already it's, like, weird, because it's a Titanfall spinoff with no actual Titans.
Yeah.
And then there's no real parkour either. So, like, the wall running and stuff like that you're used to is not present. Double jumping, that stuff's not in there. What is in there, I mean, you can still, like, slide, and I think that goes a long way.
The slides, you can go pretty long. Like, down a hill, you can go the entire way, basically.
Yeah, especially when you're downhill, the slide is, like, very useful.
Yeah.
But I think what really makes this feel like Titanfall to me, because, like, the game doesn't, like, like, in a lot of ways, it sort of, like, eschews the fact that it's a Titanfall spinoff, but to me, like, just the speed of it all, and, like, the ease of use of all of it, the ingenuity of it all, like, to me, it was immediately, like, as soon as I got my hands on the controller, like, it was instantly the most accessible and easy to read Battle Royale game that I've ever played.
Yeah.
Because Battle Royale games have never really been my cup of tea. Like, I like them fine, and, I've played PUBG, I've played Blackout.
It's funny, is like, you fucked with a good amount of them. Like, I mean, you fucked with Fortnite for a little bit.
Yeah.
Same with me. I just could not get into the building is like the main thing that like just kills that game for me.
Yeah, we tried Fortnite, played a little Blackout and played some PUBG, and I've enjoyed them all.
I put way more time into PUBG than you. I've put like a good 20, 30 hours into PUBG.
Yeah, but I've enjoyed them all to varying degrees, but this was the first one where I was like, okay, I could actually see myself really getting into this.
Yeah.
Because the game Apex Legends, which by the way is the fucking stupidest title, such a bad title for a good game. That's always a bummer, is when like it's a good game but it has a bad title. And I find myself not even referring to it as Apex Legends, I just call it Apex.
Yeah, it's kind of
which is already like a stupid word. Like, I just, there's no good way of saying it. I wonder what the shorthand, that the community is going to eventually adopt a shorthand for it, like AL or something like that.
Oh, God, I don't like AL. Just call it fucking Apex, honestly.
There's just no good outcome here. But it has a lot of, like, actually interesting twists on the Battle Royale genre that I think really make it stand out.
It's, the main thing is, like, the fact that it's kind of a hero shooter Battle Royale.
Yeah, so it kind of ends up feeling like a weird mix of like, like a Battle Royale, Call of Duty Blackout sort of thing, but also with like an Overwatch kind of.
That's so the main comparison I saw is like it's like Blackout meets Overwatch.
Right. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
And there are various hero characters. How many are in the game at this point? 8?
I think it's 8.
Yeah, I think it's 8.
That includes the ones you have to unlock, Caustic and like whatever the fuck. I don't remember the other one.
Yeah, so there's like 8 hero characters, and it's very much like Overwatch, where you have. I think the general setup is everybody's got a passive ability,
yes,
an active ability, and an ult. So
that's the way it works.
Yeah. So so it's very you can set up some pretty interesting like team dynamics like. Obviously, as with most games, you went for the kind of more tanky character.
Oh, the moment I jumped on the game and I'm looking at the legends as they're called.
Yeah.
I see this guy Gibraltar. He's like this big old like Samoan motherfucker, basically. It's good shit. Oh, it's good shit. Dude has like a shield that goes over your gun. That's the passive. Like the moment I saw that, that's the main thing that spoke to me.
Right.
I'm like, yes. Continue. Then I go over to his other building. You just drop like it's basically Winston shit, basically.
Right.
Dropping like an energy dome.
Yeah, like a portable dome shield.
Yeah. Shit's dirty, actually. I used that to like revive, like in one game I revived you and the other, like the rando that we were playing with.
Well, I'll be honest. It actually sort of reminds me of. I remember like right before Halo 3 came out, and they were talking about the bubble shield in Halo 3.
Oh, the good old bubble shield. Yeah,
And they were talking about like, oh, this is really going to change like the flow of combat, and it kind of does and kind of doesn't. But like, I'll tell you this much: there was that moment where like it was me, you, and the other guy inside of this like elevated shack, and I think there was an entire enemy squad that was on us.
Yeah.
And you throwing down that bubble shield really fucked up the flow of the combat just enough to where I could kind of pop out and finish off the guy that downed you.
Yep.
That was some good shit. Like, that was just a really good, like, that whole encounter was like my favorite. That was the highlight of our little play session last night. I really like the jump master mechanic.
Oh, yes.
Essentially, so it's just like any other battle royale game where you start off the match inside of like a air, transport. The difference with this, normally you kind of choose when you want to drop out, and that's still true. The difference is with Apex is you have somebody that is assigned jump master, where they sort of pick where you're going to fall. And you can jump out solo and you can break away from the team if you want to, but if you don't, you all sort of fall down as a group.
Yeah, and I absolutely love that. Just to keep the group together, you're not like sitting there like falling like in random spots. Yeah. Away from your group, which I love.
Keeping the group together is the default setting. The game is designed around that, and I really like that a lot. And in playing with, and I think that's ultimately why this speaks to me a little bit more, is because the game facilitates team-based play, I think, better than any other Battle Royale game.
Yeah.
Because there's also the revive mechanic.
Oh, so yeah, that's actually one of like probably the coolest things. So if somebody actually dies, you can get their banner or their beacon, whatever you want to call it, and there are revive zones like across the map. I don't even know how many there are, but there's a lot. And I mean, it takes time, but you can actually being dead in this battle royale game does not mean it's over. Like, you can actually come back,
right?
And I think that's legit. I think that's actually pretty cool.
It's really neat. Like, it's a really neat mechanic, and then like I like the whole system that they have in place. So at current, I'm sure as the game lives on, and it seems like this game is going to enjoy a long life, because I think it actually just in the first 24 hours had like almost 3 million players.
Well, that's the thing. It was such a smart move for it to come out free to play.
Right.
I wish if there's another game. It's like not even a battle royale game, but I just wish this game went like free to play. Was I don't even remember. I can't even remember the fucking name. That's hilarious to me.
Well, which game are you thinking of?
Cliffy B's.
Oh, Lawbreakers. Yeah,
Lawbreakers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that game would have did way better if it went free to play.
It definitely would have.
Like, I understand, but yeah, that's a tangent. That's a topic for another day.
Yeah. Yeah. But they have this cool mechanic that I actually like, where you get into this squad of 3. Like I said, as of right now, it's only squads of 3. I'm sure they're going to add duos at some point. I'm sure they're going to add solo play at some point. But right now, it's just squads of 3. And yeah, so you get into this game, and you each get a turn to select your character.
Yep.
Which I like. I kind of like that they have it set up like that, so there's no like race to getting your character like there is in Overwatch.
I felt a little salty because it was actually our first game, and I was like, so I'm ready to play my Gibraltar. Let's go. And I was like the second turn, so first buddy went Gibraltar, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, that's why I think it's going to be kind of good not to put all of your eggs in one basket with this game.
Oh, of course not. Like, I mean, like, there's the other characters that I'm like already interested in. It's like Gibraltar, I know is going to be like the main character I'm gonna fuck with.
Yeah.
But I know there's other ones in there. Like, here's the thing. There was a Pathfinder, the robot.
Yeah.
That's another shit that's right up my alley because he has the grappling hook.
Right.
To get around. I love that shit.
And he can make zip lines with his ult.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. So I think it's gonna be good to have like a couple of characters that you're really good with. But then also, when you think about it, if you are just sticking with the sort of 3 squad based mode or whatever, if you have a full squad full of your friends, like if it's me, you, and Tyler playing, for example, that's not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. I was even telling you, I was like, well, goodbye, Blackout.
Yeah, I basically deleted it off my hard drive like instantly. I'm like, well, if I am going to play a battle royale, it'll be this.
Yeah, I don't think Battle Royale is ever going to be Battle Royale is never going to be the genre that like really, really speaks to me, but...
Oh, no, not at all, but I do have fun with it, and I do respect, like, the popularity of it.
Yeah, but even just in the couple of hours that we played last night, this was already, like, by far the most fun I've had with the battle royale. This is the one where I'm like,
Yeah.
I could actually see myself like sticking with this and like occasionally jumping in and playing this.
Yeah.
I do wish that just to make it feel a little bit more like Titanfall and make it feel a little more fluid, I do kind of wish the parkour is in there, but I understand the reasoning because the skill ceiling would be so much higher if that was in there.
Oh, like I talked about that. Like I'd be able to do some dumb shit. Like the thing is I'm not even that good with the wall running, but I'm good enough to do some dumb shit.
Yeah. Well, even just like the double jumping would be so nice. Like,
oh yeah.
But it is what it is. That's honestly sort of a minor complaint. I do wonder what this game sort of means for the future of Titanfall. Like,
Yeah, that's actually one of my biggest worries because it's just like I did see that like I know like Titanfall 3 is apparently not in development.
it's so weird because like it seems kind of weird and uncertain because EA had an investors call on Monday, I think it was, where they said that a quote premium Titanfall experience is releasing in 2019. But then like Respawn themselves seem adamant that Titanfall 3 is not in the works.
So either way, like I still think even if it's not in development, even if it is, I think Apex Legends is a smart move just to get people interested in the Titanfall franchise.
Yeah, based on Jason Schreier at Kotaku, who we quote all the time on this fucking podcast, but
Hey man,
he's
best in the business.
He really is, but he seems to be under the impression that Titanfall 3 was in development, and the assets that were being developed for Titanfall 3 were sort of rolled into what is now Apex Legends.
Okay.
So, if Titanfall 3 is still happening, or if it's not still happening, who knows?
But either way, like, I still see Apex Legends as a good thing to like revamp the franchise, maybe, and then like get a little more interest in Titanfall 3. Because, I mean, me and you bought Titanfall 2, but like
Nobody else did.
yeah,
Here's what I hope. What I would love to see. I would love to see them release Apex Legends because there's going to be a lot of people who Apex Legends is their first and only exposure to the Titanfall universe, right?
which is a damn shame.
So how cool would it be if, like, now that Apex Legends is already a basically overnight success, I really hope that this game stays successful and people keep supporting it. And then, like, maybe they add a mode where you have Titans, right? Like, maybe they add a kind of smaller scale mode where Titans are a thing. And then all of a sudden you're playing Titanfall again. And now you've got people who are actually interested to see the future of Titanfall in general,
If that's what happens, it'd be great. Because, God, I love Titanfall.
Yeah, Titanfall 2 is really good, man. Really
Yeah.
good. But Apex Legends, I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes, and I've been enjoying my time with it. I'm excited to play some more. It's a fun game. Like, and we actually, for us only playing like 3 games, we actually did not do that bad either.
Yeah, we're like 6th place.
Yeah, I think 6th place is the highest we've gotten so far. Not too shabby for like our 3rd game or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Real quick before I get into just this swath of Nintendo news that Nintendo dropped on us this week. I did just want to really quickly say that on that EA investors call, they did reiterate that Respawn's other game that they're currently working on, Jedi Fallen Order, is in fact very far along in development and is still on track for its fall 2019 release date.
Hey, that's good to hear. I just want to see more. I actually want to see more of that game. I want to see more. I want to see something of that game.
Yeah,
finally.
Yeah, just see anything on that game. Yeah, they actually said to expect a full reveal in the coming months. So
all right, that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, 'cause the premise of that game is just so damn good.
It's sort of for them to say in the coming months. I'm almost wondering if they're going to reveal something ahead of E3. Like, I'm kind of secretly hoping that they're going to show something at Star Wars Celebration.
Well, we've talked about this for a while. Like, E3's kind of like not that important anymore. So
yeah. Well, basically dominating all of the other news this week, Nintendo.
but before we get into this, just wake me up when it's over.
Well, some of this I think you actually might find interesting because this is the.
I know I'm talking. I just like to talk shit.
Well, here's the deal. Like, Nintendo had their investors call as well. It's the end of the sort of fiscal year, so a lot of these big companies have like their earnings calls. They talk to investors and they go over sales and they talk about the future and stuff like that. And Nintendo is no different. And the thing about it is Nintendo's earnings call was basically like a fucking mini direct, like with all the shit that they talked about.
Okay then.
So they had their financial results briefing, and they started with sales, and I wanted to talk about the sales because the sales aspect to me is really fascinating. So as of January 2019, the Nintendo Switch has officially surpassed the 30 million sold mark in less than 2 years on the market. So I think it's actually at like almost 33 million at this point. It's like,
all right.
So this means that the Switch has already eclipsed Wii U and GameCube's lifetime sales.
Holy shit.
Which Wii U's lifetime sales were 13.56 million. GameCube's lifetime sales were 21.74 million. And it is fast approaching the N64's lifetime sales of 32.93 million. It honestly might be there already at this point.
Wow.
And that's in less than 2 years on the market. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate surpassed over 10 million units sold in less than a month on market, which makes it the fastest selling Nintendo console game ever. The 4 best-selling Switch games are The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild with 11.68 million, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with 12.8 million, Super Mario Odyssey with 13.76 million, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with 15.02 million. Nintendo also noted that Pokemon Let's Go games ranked 5th in overall sales for 2018, and Super Mario Party ranked 7th. So the Switch is just fucking doing crazy. Mm-hmm. And the attach rates for some of these games, I mean, you look at the 4 best-selling Switch games, I mean, more than 1 in every 3 Switches has a copy of these games. And in Mario Kart 8's case, literally half of all Switches have a copy of that game.
Shit, I know I got one.
Yeah, exactly. So that's crazy that's done so well. You have to imagine a new Mario Kart is in the works as we speak. Nintendo Switch Online currently has over 8 million active subscribers. This is not including free trials. When revealing this milestone, Nintendo said that it is, quote, working on continuing to expand the service offerings. This is hot on the heels of rumors that SNES games will soon be coming to the service, by way of a higher-tier subscription option for enthusiast gamers that are willing to pay more for more content. So, in other words, it sounds like... You remember a few weeks ago when I told you that the Switch was being data mined, the online app was data mined, and we found a bunch of Super Nintendo titles?
Yeah, you were telling me. I remember that.
Yeah, so it seems like the plan is that Nintendo, at some point this year, maybe imminently, it seems like they're going to announce that, hey, like... You can have this basic online thing, or you can pay a little bit more for a higher tier service to also get these Super Nintendo games included.
Okay.
So, seems like the route they're probably going to go with that, which is interesting. And it's also funny. Yeah, it says over 8 million active subscribers. I wonder if that includes these family plans.
God bless the family plans.
Because straight up, you can have up to 8 people on your family plan, Like, I have you, your dad, my wife, Dan, like, all of you, like, covered for Nintendo Switch Online under one single plan.
You're going to have to edit that out.
Why?
They can't know.
No, they know. It's up to, they added the functionality, so it's like, yeah, so that, I wonder if that's even including that. So you have to imagine... They're tracking 8 million active subscriptions, but there's got to be way more than 8 million players. You know what I mean? Anyway. Nintendo President Furukawa discussed the company's strategy to, quote, expand the number of people who have access to the Nintendo IP. We've already seen several advancements in this area. There's the Super Nintendo world that they're building at Universal Studios. The Super Mario Bros. Animated film that Illumination is making, which now has a 2022 release date. And a continued focus on mobile gaming. So this is interesting. So Nintendo has been doing these sort of mobile games that have had actually a lot of success with like Fire Emblem Heroes and Animal Crossing Pocket Camp and Super Mario Run. They've actually had a lot of success in that market, and they have 2 more games on the docket that are coming out this year that we know about. There's probably going to be more, but that we know about so far. Mario Kart Tour, the new Mario Kart game for smartphones. It was actually announced last year. It was supposed to come out early this year, but has now been delayed to summer. Nintendo says the delay is, quote, in order to improve quality of the application, expand the content offerings after launch, end quote. So it seems like Mario Kart Tour is going to have some post-launch DLC support. So you're going to have a Mario Kart game on your phone, Todd. You excited about that?
No, I don't believe in mobile gaming.
I gotta say, I'm not normally big into mobile gaming at all, but I really had a lot of fun with Super Mario Run. I actually really like that game.
Again, anything mobile gaming, I'm like, I don't give a shit.
For me, Super Mario Run was like the absolute best mobile game I've ever played, where I was just like, wow, like this.
Don't you just tap?
You do, but there is actually like skill involved with it. And there is like a certain level of precision to it, and
I feel like it's effectively the impossible game at that point.
I mean a little bit, but you'd be surprised how much actual depth there is to it, and there's actually like maneuvers that you can pull off, and yeah, even though it is just single tap, it's also just like so clean, like so cleanly designed, like you don't have to move a joystick on the screen or whatever, you know. Like it just feels good. You don't even have to hold your phone sideways. You can just sit there and hold your phone as you normally do, and just play it with one hand, and you're playing a Mario game on your phone. It's really good, actually. I was really impressed with it. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp I fucked with for a little bit, and I enjoyed it for what it was. Like it was kind of a dumbed down version of Animal Crossing. I didn't really stick with it too much. I
think my sister fucked with it more than you ever did.
Yeah, I mean, I played it for I played it for maybe a couple weeks. You know what I mean?
Nah, I think I don't know if I don't know how bad my sister got, but I think she got pretty into it.
Now, Fire Emblem Heroes is really interesting because Fire Emblem Heroes is just like dead ass a Fire Emblem game on the phone. Like, it's not quite as like complex as the like core Fire Emblem games, but like the gameplay is totally there, and like it is basically a Fire Emblem game on your phone through and through, and that one is probably the most successful. So now we got Mario Kart being added, and we'll see what they do with that. But a brand new announcement: they announced a new smartphone titled Dr. Mario World, which Nintendo describes the game as a puzzle title and says it will be free to download with optional in-app purchases. So that excites me because I don't know about you, I'm a huge Dr. Mario fan. I love Dr. Mario. And to have Dr. Mario on my phone, I'm cool with that. Like, I am on board with that. I love me some Dr. Mario. Would you be willing, Todd, to give Dr. Mario World a shot on the phone?
No, because it's a mobile game.
But we can play it together.
I don't care.
We can play Dr. Mario together, Todd.
I don't give a shit. I don't believe in mobile gaming. So,
and another interesting thing that to sort of like round out this little block of Nintendo news, they teased in this sort of financial roundup, they teased that at least one unannounced title is going to be released in 2019 that, quote, fans will be delighted to know, end quote.
Okay.
What do you make of that? What do you think that could be?
It's pretty vague.
It is pretty vague, but what do you think that could be? Fans will be delighted to know an unannounced Nintendo title for 2019.
Breath of the Majora's Mask.
I cannot imagine that we're going to get a new Zelda game in 2019.
I doubt it too. I'm just talking shit.
The thing about it is, like, we already know so much about what Nintendo has coming out. There's so many Nintendo games coming out this year already that we know of. I'm curious what I really think if the game didn't get shit canned. I really think that Star Fox racing game that Retro was working on, I really think that's probably ready for this year. If it didn't get canceled, it's probably ready for this year. Because there are rumors that game is going to come out at the launch of the Switch. And that Nintendo basically held it because they already had so many big games coming out in year one. So I almost wonder if that game's ready for prime time. now that they're kind of, obviously Retro is going to be picking up the reins of Metroid Prime 4 and starting development on that from scratch. So I'm sort of wondering if that game's not either done or very close to being done and will come out this year. I guess we'll see. It's probably going to be an E3 announcement. But I still can't believe we never got a Direct in January.
Oh yeah, you were like losing your fucking mind over that shit.
Oh my god, I still am. I'm still ready.
It's coming any day now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like a skeleton just refreshing the Nintendo subreddit. I wonder if you heard about this. So Piranha Plant has arrived in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, if you're lucky. Many users are reporting either not receiving download codes after registering their game, or they do receive the code and the character is just not showing up at all. In addition, some users are reporting that their save file is being corrupted after using Piranha Plant in All-Star Smash.
Yeah.
You heard about that?
Yeah, I did.
I have, we both got Piranha Plant. We've both been able to play with Piranha Plant. And, he's fun and everything. But I'm, scared to play with him now.
That's kind of my thing. I'm like, I'm not touching him again until, there's, an update.
Well, here's the thing. Nintendo has since, said that after extensive investigation, they couldn't see a problem, with him.
Oh, no.
And the current theory is that it's actually based on compatibility with certain SD cards.
Oh.
So maybe it's not an issue with Piranha Plant himself. It's just, these certain SD cards that are having issues with the Piranha Plant file or whatever.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm still scared.
Yeah.
We haven't actually talked about Piranha Plant. How do you like him?
I like him a lot, actually. So, again, I think it boils down to the type of characters that me and you both like to play.
Right.
Because some of his moves, especially the one move you really don't like is when he spits that little, ball, chain, whatever ball up in the air.
Yeah, he shoots like a spike ball into the air.
Yeah, I like that move because that reminds me very heavily of, Ness's PK Blast.
Right.
And again, I like the more technical sort of characters like that.
Yeah, and there's definitely a niche for that. I think Piranha Plant has got he definitely has a technical side to him.
Well, shit. Most of his little special moves, you gotta aim that shit.
Yeah, I like certain. There's certain characters like that I like. There's certain characters like that I don't like. I don't hate Piranha Plant. He's definitely not going to be one of my mains or anything. But for somebody like you who enjoys the kind of more the more, I guess, thoughtful, technical movesets.
Skill-based. No, I'm just...
Skill-based my ass. That's not what that means. Just because something's more difficult doesn't make it more skill-based. But,
He's the Dark Souls of Smash Bros.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I could see the appeal. I can see the appeal. It's just, I like him just fine. He's probably just not going to be somebody that I play as too much. But a good addition. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of these other DLC characters, though. I'm ready for Joker. I want to see what the deal is with Joker. I've got one more bit of news here, and then we can talk about our two big meaty things that we want to talk about. This is not a piece of video game news. We have long heard rumors that James Gunn is being tapped to write and direct the sequel to DC's Suicide Squad, but new rumors suggest that it may not be a sequel after all. The Hollywood Reporter reports that Gunn's Suicide Squad will be a relaunch of the property, with new characters and mostly a new cast, and the film is reportedly eyeing a 2021 release date.
Okay.
What do you make of that?
Again, it works in the way that DC's moving with making standalone movies.
Yeah, it seems so interesting to me that DC is so ready to just kind of throw away.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you think about it because it's what's her fucking name? Still playing Harley in the Birds of Prey movie?
Yeah, Margot Robbie. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's weird that it's just they're completely throwing every character that they've done with that movie, the previous Suicide Squad.
That's sort of the
I'm
implication.
down for it.
Yeah.
I'm down for it. I'm interested.
The implication is that, yeah, they're going to just completely, like, all new cast of characters, which is going to be a little bit weird if they go that route, because, like, a lot of the major Suicide Squad characters were in the team that was in the movie.
Yeah, so it's like if they go for, like, the same characters, like at least some characters, but, like, different cast, it's weird.
Yeah, I'm just like, I really don't see how you can have I mean, yeah, you could cut some of them, but, like, there's characters like Deadshot where I'm just like, I really don't know how you can make that movie without Deadshot.
Yeah.
You know, or Captain Boomerang, like,
Yep.
or Katana, like, just these really iconic Suicide Squad characters. We'll see. One thing that did that was recently said, I don't remember where it was said. I think Taika Waititi was doing some interviews for his new show or whatever. I think they're doing a show based on his movie, What We Do in the Shadows or whatever. And anyway, he was doing this like interview for it, and he mentioned that he will not direct Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
So that movie still does not have a director.
No, it doesn't. And I think it's even like the date for it is like way off now. It's like 2022 or something like that.
Well, yeah, at this point, it's like, who knows? I mean, like, I think like what Chris Pratt said, that movie's gonna happen, or whatever.
Yeah, Chris Pratt says it's gonna happen, but like, who knows who's gonna direct it? Because like,
yeah,
everybody was sort of eyeballing Taika Waititi because he's got that kind of like comedy. You know?
After Ragnarok, especially.
Yeah, after Ragnarok, people were like, oh, okay, we could see him picking up Guardians and stuff like that, and he's like, he is very adamant. He's like, I'm not going to do that because he feels very much that Guardians is like James Gunn's baby.
Yeah,
and I think I'm going to try not to butcher the quote, but I think he said something to the effect of like, he doesn't want to come in and be like, hey, I'm your new dad, you know, kind of thing.
Well, that's good.
So yeah, interesting stuff. But how weird is it that like James Gunn gets fired from Marvel and then DC scoops him up and basically throws away everything that the old Suicide Squad movie did?
I think it's a smart move. So
I do too. I mean, I personally, it has been a long time since I have been excited when I read DC headlines. It makes the DC fan in me happy, and I feel like if DC is going to come back swinging in any way, this is going to be the way they do it.
Yep.
By just focusing on making some fucking good movies and not worrying about like an expanded cinematic universe. So I'm hopeful for the future of DC. I hope they stay the course with this stuff. But anyway, let's get right into it, Todd. Let's talk about, we both have some pretty big games that we've both been playing. If I'm not mistaken, I think you've been doing a whole lot of a whole lot of Monster Hunter World.
Are you ready for the Monster Hunter talk?
I guess.
It's gonna go very strong.
Oh God.
I've been living in the Appreciation Fest, the good old 1-year anniversary.
Yes.
Of one of my favorite games. I've been on a quest for all the layered armor in the game that I give a shit about, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Very close.
So just at the top, just explain what the Appreciation Fest is.
Oh, well, okay. So the Appreciation Fest is very similar to the other festivals in the game, like the Autumn Harvest,
right?
The Summer Festival. There's a bunch of them. So it's like during the festivals, every event quest that is available, or that has ever come out, all of them will be there for you to do. And usually they'll add new ones like between the festivals. So it's basically a good chance if like you like weren't playing the game at the time of like an event quest. Like I'll get to one that I missed is Arch-Tempered Xeno'jiiva.
Right.
I missed that the first time around. So I've been like I've known about the Appreciation Fest for like a while now. Like I knew that was coming. So I was like, oh, that'll be the time I finally jump on that. I'll jump on the shit that I missed. That's actually the main reason for it. For the most part, is just to like do a lot of the event quests that you've missed to get all the like exclusive event items. Like there's the Devil May Cry event where you can get like the Dante Devil Sword and shit. And there's a lot of shit like that.
So it's like an opportunity to go back and get some of the stuff you may have missed.
Yes, and just there's like other event quests that like give you like hunter rank like a motherfucker. Like give you like bonus hunter rank, stuff like that. If you give a shit about that, but it's like here's the thing. After you get to the end game, it's like, who gives a shit? Unless you want to get to like hunter rank 999. I've seen a couple of them.
God bless.
The last one that I saw was actually funny to me. Like I feel like at this point they're just Dark Soulsing it. This motherfucker was wearing like low rank like leather armor. Like just doing like the good old like naked strats in Dark Souls.
People are just bored now.
Well, yeah, at that point, yeah, if you're getting 100 rank 999, yeah, have fun. As much as I like love to play the game, I don't think I'll ever get to that.
What hunter rank are you right now?
187.
Okay. Let me ask you this.
Something like that.
Let me ask you this just so we can have this as recorded evidence. What's your hour count right now?
A little under 600.
Jesus Christ.
It's like right around 600 at this point.
Yeah. You proud of that?
Yes. But
so I mean, what else has been kind of driving you back in? I mean, I know you're after all this layered armor, trying to round out your collection.
I'm always after the layered armor because it's just like if I can transmog my shit, I will.
Right.
And I've actually kind of found my final look until Iceborne comes out.
Right.
Because I just recently did these Zora Magdros arch-tempered quest, which is honestly just it's kind of boring. It's fucking Zora Magdros. You did that shit.
Yeah.
So it's just imagine that, but he has more health, but you also have less time.
Oh, okay.
25 minutes. That's it.
Okay.
And everything does more damage to you, obviously, like the magma cores and shit like that. It's not a fun quest, but it's like it's easy. It's easy enough.
Do you have to do it from the beginning with like the cannons and all that shit still?
No. So it's the second one where you you start on them.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay. Cool.
It's the final like the event quest, and just any time after you like beat the game basically, is you get the quest where you start on them, you fuck with the magma cores, then you get to the barrier, and that's when you do the cannons.
Okay. Good.
But yeah, that gives you the origin layered armor, which is like I think that's an armor that you got for like pre-ordering the game. I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So yeah, you get that set as a layered armor. It's actually what I'm using on my arms and legs right now. But other than that, that's basically the main driving force at the moment is the layered armor and just kind of like completing my builds and just looking good while doing it. But the main thing I do want to talk about is arch-tempered Xeno'jiiva.
Yeah, they finally did that, huh?
I've been patient. Well, yeah, here's the deal. That's the proper way to buff a fucking monster.
Yeah, because before it's just been kind of whatever, right?
So yeah, like with like arch-tempered Teostra, arch-tempered Kushala, like all the so with Kushala, the main thing they did with Kushala, which is the only thing they could do, and I called it, is make flash pods virtually ineffective on him.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's basically how you cheese Kushala. You just flash pod his stupid ass because he's up in the air all the damn time and you fuck him up. I don't remember what exactly they did with Teostra, other than the fact he probably just does more like radiant damage. Mm-hmm. And like same thing with like Lunastra. I don't remember if they do anything like special. I don't think they do. But yeah, Arch-Tempered Xeno'jiiva is the first monster that, other than just getting probably like more health and more damage, he just straight up does new shit. And he becomes the king of AoEs, and it's fantastic. He is, without a doubt, the most punishing fight. Like you can, if you fuck up like just one little bit, you're basically gonna get one shot.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. The one shots are real, right?
The one shots are unfucking real, dude. It's great. So me and our mutual friend Tyler, we were like just we were basically doing the 4-man attempts, and it reminded us very heavily of when we were doing Behemoth when Behemoth came out.
Yeah, is that the Behemoth's the Final Fantasy crossover?
Yeah, Behemoth's the Final Fantasy
right.
monster, and that is like the basically it's almost like an MMO fight. You got to get like aggro and shit like that. It's a cool fight. The randoms definitely could not handle like the communication involved.
Right.
So I've said this between Behemoth and Arch-Tempered Xeno. Behemoth was like tactically hard, like with just like people like learning like what the fuck they had to do. Mm-hmm. Xeno is just hard in a way. Like I personally had no issue with him. Like when I was playing him myself, like if I did 20 attempts with like 3 randoms, I'd die in those 20 attempts. I'd probably die 2 times.
Jesus,
that's it. Like like the death was not a problem.
It was
for me
never
in that.
your
It was
fault.
Always, it was never my fault. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always the randoms getting carded like motherfuckers, like blah 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 blah. And it got to the point where like Tyler and I were like, hey, let's 2-man it. With the 2-man attempts, they were like kind of weak because we were going into it with weapons that weren't augmented, and augments are like an essential part of endgame, honestly.
Right.
Especially the health recovery augment, which is like while you're attacking like the monster, you get health back. And I found like Tyler went the ranged route with that fight. Like he went to like heavy bow gun and shit like that, which is like cool and all. I hate the ranged weapons in that game. Not for me. Don't care. I think they're shit. Fight me on it. I don't care.
Strong opinions coming from Nerd Bourbon's Todd Sturgill.
I found that the insect glaive is without a doubt the best weapon against Xeno, especially Arch-Tempered Xeno'jiva.
Okay.
Because you're able to keep a constant stream of damage, and you're also above him. There is a couple moves that will hit you, and like I definitely died like a couple times because they were my fault. Because it's just like he does this one where he's like fucking just running all the way across. And here's the thing: he does that in like standard Xeno, but he does that way fucking more in the Arch-Tempered. I feel, but it's whatever. But yeah, I went for that. And that was before I had the augment, and that was just the worst shit of my life without the augment, because it's like I would die because I had to heal. So we actually took a pause off of it, right? And we went and like farmed out to get the augments for our weapons. Did a 2-man attempt, failed it, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. Oh, I mean, it's funny. Let me backtrack. We did it once. Both of us did it once. With a group, we both got lucky. And he was playing by himself, I was playing by myself. I got lucky with one group that was able to fucking clear it. I was like, cool. Problem is, I only got 1 ticket. You need 2 tickets to get the layered armor.
Ah, that sucks.
So yeah, I was hoping to God to get 2 tickets in one go. So that did not work out. So what ended up happening is we were sitting there for like fucking like hours just trying to get it done, just like doing the attempts, and it's like he finally was like, yeah, I gotta jump off, I have to go to bed. And this is like right after I got my augment, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna give it one solo attempt. The thing is, I've tried soloing it before, and I've come close. That was before my augment though. This is the first attempt with the augment, and I was like, I'm only gonna give it one go, one try. If not, I'll wait for Tyler.
Yeah.
I did it in that one go.
God bless.
And it was, I'm telling you, that was like the most satisfying fucking kill in that game. I swear to God. When that fucker died, I was like, shh. I just like, it's like, I almost had like an orgasm. I won't even lie. Like, I was just like, you piece of shit. And the funniest thing about it, I got 2 tickets in that run.
Beautiful.
I was pissed off about that, actually. I was like, you piece of shit. But like back to that though, like that is what I want from like the Arch-Tempered fights, like to actually do new shit. Like that is I think more interesting than just buffing their fucking health.
Yeah, than just
and more.
I always
damage.
hate that. That's such a boring way to handle difficulty.
Yes. So it's like, here's the thing: does he do more damage and does he have more health? Yeah, he does. He has a shit ton of health, but it's the idea that he actually does new shit. That is what's awesome to me.
Right.
And it's funny, is a lot of people like shit on Xeno, like, cause Xeno is like a kind of a bitch fight, like the original, like the baby Xeno.
Right.
This is full grown Xeno, and he had enough of your shit. He had enough of people talking shit, basically.
Enough of your bullshit.
Yeah, he's just coming in and just whooping ass. It's like so good. It's funny, and I didn't even talk about this. They came out with like probably one of the greatest moments ever. The greatest event quest ever is the greatest Jagras.
Oh, right.
And I love this shit. What an absolute unit.
More like the greatest jackass.
It's funny. He's borderline an Arch-Tempered Jagras.
Right.
Like he hits like a fucking truck. It's hilarious. But the whole point of that is actually just to farm decorations. So it's like you just go in there, like you just spits out a bunch of decorations and shit. It's funny, as I've done it a couple times. Like I've done it like probably like 20 times. Still no attack jewel.
Well, isn't the attack jewel, isn't that like super rare?
Yeah, like .00, like some dumb shit like that. It's like
something
dumb.
crazy.
It's dumb, dude. Like, and it's just like the thing is, I don't even need another attack jewels because like that's actually like Tyler actually came up to me. He's like, I don't even know like why. He's like, he asked me like, why aren't we doing the greatest Jagras that much? I'm like, because my build's kind of perfect for me. I don't really care. Like, it's like I could use an attack jewel. I could use some jewels, but I'm like, I don't need.
But you don't
them.
necessarily need to sit there and grind for it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really feel like going out of my way. I've done it a couple times recently, and it's like just jumped on because I was bored. But what's funny is like the reason they did this greatest Jagras is because he's the most hunted monster in the game.
Right.
And it's funny. I think by the time this comes up, the greatest Jagras is going to go away, and the new event quest is going to come in, which is honestly I could just say right now it can go fuck itself. It's the arch-tempered lava cunt.
Oh, fuck that.
Dude, I'm going to do it, obviously, because it gives you layered armor. But I'm not looking forward to it, because I fucking hate fighting him.
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
It is the most annoying fight in that fucking game. And it's... The fact that he's going to be arch-tempered is just going to be hilarious.
So what do you think they're gonna do with him? They're just gonna go back to the typical bullshit. So, more health. More damage.
He's in the like from what I understand, he's probably just going to be just a harder piece of shit. Like he's just going to hit harder and have more health. Yeah. But I know he's also going to drop like glowing face stones, I guess.
Huh. Okay.
Or something from what I saw. I'm assuming that's going to be from like breaking his like hardened lava skin or some bullshit.
Okay.
I think that's probably what they're going to do with it. But yeah, the main thing is like it has a layered armor, and obviously I don't even give a shit if it's a layered armor I want. If I can get it easily enough, I'm going to do it. Because the only layered armor that I just don't care enough to get is the Kushala one, because it involves the arena, and I've done my time in the arena, and I will not do any more.
Yeah, fuck the arena.
I will not suffer through that shit.
Because it kind of forces you into a preset build, right?
It forces you into using shit builds, and it's incredible.
Yep, I'm good.
Yep. Yeah, Monster Hunter World has been fantastic. I'm still playing the ever living shit out of it.
God bless.
The thing with that game, it fills the void in my like dead times of like waiting for new games. It's kind of where I live, where I thrive.
It's fair. I'm glad that you have these kind of evergreen games that you can dive into and just spend 600 hours in.
Yeah.
I've had games like that in the past.
Well, I'm going to turn my brain off while you gush about Kingdom Hearts 3.
Here's the deal. And it's been hard for me to keep this in for almost an hour now. Because Kingdom Hearts 3 exists and it's real and I can't believe it. It's so weird. I've waited so long, Todd.
I know you have.
I've been so patient.
I wish I cared.
See, you could care. You could jump into this convoluted mess with me.
I'll pass on it. That's what everybody says, the convoluted mess, and I'm like, oh, I'm good. I'll pass on that.
There's something like enjoyable about it, though. Like if you have been on this ride for so long, if you've been on this ride for going on almost 20 years now. I mean, like, it is something to behold. And it's a convoluted mess, and I can acknowledge that it's a convoluted mess, but I'm like, it makes sense to me. I couldn't sit here and explain the story of Kingdom Hearts to you in a way that you would digest, but I will say... I
already know that.
I will say this. To the game's credit, they have gotten excellent... I forget exactly what it's called, but it's like the memories archive or something like that in the main menu of the game that essentially walks you through the kind of major events that are going to be called back to or touched upon in Kingdom Hearts 3.
So people can just remember what the fuck happened?
Can either just use it as a refresher. And I really do highly recommend if you're going to play Kingdom Hearts 3, I don't care if you have been there from the very beginning like I have, or if you've never played a Kingdom Hearts game before, I highly recommend you watch those videos. It takes about like 20 to 30 minutes to watch them all. Okay. And just the way they're presented is so like digestible and so well written. And it's just like, it's the perfect little supplement before you start playing. And it kind of gets you somewhat up to speed. It doesn't cover everything. It does not cover like every little thing that you would still be a little confused. And obviously, there's nothing like playing the games, but it's really an excellent supplement before you dive into Kingdom Hearts 3. And let me not bury the lead here. Kingdom Hearts 3 is like already just instantly and objectively the best Kingdom Hearts game. Like, it is so good, and I'm having such a great time with it. And like, yeah, I have some issues with it, but overall, for this game to come out after like 14 years of waiting, and for it to deliver so thoroughly on everything, like every aspect of it is like just the perfect version of exactly what I wanted it to be. I'm doing things in that game that like I couldn't have dreamed of back on the PS2, where I could never have imagined that Kingdom Hearts was going to become this. And it's like, it's mind blowing. Like, it's out of this world. The game is gorgeous. Like, they have incorporated one of my few problems with the game is that the worlds of this game are very much more so focused on these sort of like 3D Disney animation and Pixar animation worlds.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, Kingdom Hearts is a series where it's sort of the general conceit was that it was a crossover between Final Fantasy and Disney. So it's a Japanese role-playing game, but you are visiting like Disney worlds based on Disney movies. And this game, so like past games, you would, there's Aladdin worlds and Lilo and Stitch and The Little Mermaid and these classic Disney movies.
Is there a Lilo and Stitch world?
There is. In Birth by Sleep, there is.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a Snow White world, Cinderella world, stuff like that. They've covered really most of the 2D animated Disney movies. But with this one, they're kind of delving more so into the 3D animated movies, so and even Pixar. So we've got Toy Story, we've got Monsters, Inc., we've got Big Hero 6, Tangled, Frozen, these kind of more like modern 3D animated Disney movies. And I can see the reason why they did it, because, obviously, like when you get into some of these worlds, like Tangled, I'm probably about halfway through the game. I've got a ways to go, and especially since I'm trying to like 100% it and platinum it, I know I've got way more ahead of me. Going into the Tangled world, dude, like there was literally parts where I think I even Snapchatted you. I was like a cutscene, and it just looks like the movie. Like,
yep.
Like the graphics are so good. They've done such a great job with the animation. It is so high quality. Like the animation, I mean, you can see why it took them so long to make this game, because they painstakingly recreated the look and feel of these movies to where, yeah, I literally just feel like I'm just watching Tangled at this point. This may be kind of minor spoilers, but I'll say that they do a full-on recreation of the Let It Go scene from Frozen. They just dead ass just do the whole song.
Nice.
Just straight up. And it just looks like, I mean, yeah, if you watch them side by side, you can kind of tell the difference, but if I were playing Kingdom Hearts and I was at that part and you walked through the door to my apartment, you would think I was just watching Frozen. I mean, literally. Like, the game looks that good. And, like, the environments, probably my single favorite thing about Kingdom Hearts 3 is that, yeah, there are less worlds than there typically are. I think there's only like 7 or 8 worlds, maybe. Most Kingdom Hearts games have like 10 plus. In Kingdom Hearts 3, the environments are massive. And there are a lot of things to explore and discover, and a lot of surprises and enemy variety that is like unheard of. Like, it is rare that I find a game with enemy variety like this, where you are just constantly fighting enemies in new ways. I swear to God, like, take the Toy Story world, for example. There's really only like 2 locations in that world, but they're huge. So you start off in Andy's room, but then you can go outside onto like the roof of Andy's house, and then onto the grass in Andy's yard and the street and all that shit. And you're toy sized, right? So like the blades of grass are like almost as big as you are, you know?
Yeah.
And you're fighting like out in the yard and stuff like that. And then really the only other location is this like mall this like this toy store / mall called Galaxy Toys. But it's like 3 layers, like 3 tiers of just like entire levels full of shit to explore. And each level kind of has its own like gimmick. Each world has its own kind of like unique thing. So like in that level, in the Toy Story level, you can pilot these mechs called the Gigas, and you can just straight up fly around in a mech suit and like shoot shit, and it's awesome. And then like the Frozen world, for example, has got like snowboarding kind of. The Tangled world has got like a dancing kind of mini game. There's like something unique in each one.
Okay.
Which I really like. But then also like just the okay, I could just gush about this game. This is a dangerous rabbit hole right now.
Oh, I already know.
And I'm sure I will continue to talk about this game, but this is just kind of my initial... I'll say this. I've put about 15 hours or so into the game. So my thoughts are very very jumbled right now, and I know I'm going to need time after I finish the game to process it and really give a full review. So this is really just initial impressions of Kingdom Hearts 3. But my God, like the emphasis on like exploration and collecting and grinding, like if you like a good grindy RPG, this game is perfect for that, because like there's all these ingredients and synthesis and upgrade materials that you can farm. Like I really like that aspect of it. I really like the you can find these ingredients scattered all throughout the worlds, and it kind of has like a Monster Hunter kind of thing going on where you gather these ingredients and you bring them back to Remy from Ratatouille, and you help him cook these meals that you can then eat, and you can have buffs to bring with you into the next world and stuff.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool, and I like that a lot. But then just, God, as if this all wasn't good enough, there's like hidden Mickeys. Like, the concept of the hidden Mickey in Disney World? So like in the Disney parks, there are just hidden Mickey symbols just all over, right?
Yeah.
And it's really just little Easter eggs for people to find. Well, they've included hidden Mickeys as collectibles in Kingdom Hearts 3.
See, you sound so excited, but the first time you told me about them, you were pretty annoyed.
Well, it was more so, it wasn't really like, annoyed is the wrong word, because here's what happened. So sometimes you just see the hidden Mickeys as like, just like, maybe a door has like a hidden Mickey, like a Mickey symbol carved into it or something. But like when I was talking to you, I was like, oh, come on, really? And it was a set of barrels that were like stacked on each other that looked like a Mickey Mouse symbol. And some of them get even stupider than that, where it's like, oh, I need to get onto this tower, and then I look down and this rock formation looks like a Mickey Mouse, But it is a cool collectible, ultimately. And it does make you feel a little bit more, like it makes the worlds feel a little bit more connected, Like it reminds you that, hey, these are Disney worlds, And some of them are interesting because like the Monsters, Inc. world, for example, actually takes place after the events of the movie. So
awesome. Okay.
So it's almost like you're getting a little like pseudo sequel. I mean, not quite. I mean, they don't really go ham on it, but like it does take place after the events of Monsters, Inc. So that's kind of cool. You know what I mean? I actually like that.
I like that actually.
And then like the Pirates of the Caribbean world, it's basically like Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It's like open world ship combat and like exploring islands and shit like that. It's like crazy. And like and then like all of a sudden the graphics have like a realistic tint to them. Like if you actually look at the cutscenes from Pirates of the Caribbean, like Jack Sparrow just looks fucking real. Like it just looks like Jack Sparrow's there. Just realistic graphics and everything. It's like crazy. There's so much going on. Like, and every aspect of the game is so polished. Hell, the gummy ship. The gummy ship has always been kind of like this annoying kind of like on-rails shooter that you do. Basically, when you go to travel between worlds for the first time, you have to do this like kind of on-rails shooter section in the gummy ship.
Yeah.
Well, in Kingdom Hearts 3, the gummy ship has been made its own totally separate like open world like kind of space exploration game where you can like just zoom around and you can engage in like kind of skirmishes if you want to, or you can find collectibles and fly around and you can like take pictures of constellations and like what the fuck? Like, even the annoying side thing is good in this one. I haven't even talked about the combat yet. The combat is so excellent. And really, as good as it is, the combat is where my, like, one major complaint with the game is. Because there is so much going on with the combat. It's actually fucking ridiculous. Like, my wife was watching me play, like, the first or second day the game came out. And I'm just doing a normal, like, a standard battle against maybe, like, 8 to 10 Heartless. And I have, like, summoned Pegasus. I'm fucking, like, shooting lightning down. Wreck-It Ralph is, like, blowing shit up. I'm sitting there. I've summoned, like, the spinning teacups from Disney World, and, like, sparks are flying everywhere, and I'm riding on Splash Mountain. And she's like, that seems a little extra, don't you think? And I'm like, yeah, it is.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But it's like it's absurd. But then also, like, they've made it so much more fluid to swap, so you can equip up to 3 Keyblades at the same time in this one, and each of them have sort of, like, changing weapon variants. So, like, the Toy Story Keyblade, for example, morphs into a fucking hammer, which, like fucking, like, you like pound it into the ground and it, like, leaves cracks in the Earth's crust. Oh, it's so good. I don't remember which world it is, but there's one where it actually transforms into, like, a pair of guns. And it's like, what? I have guns now? Like, it's buck wild. The only annoyance is that they've tied a lot of shit to the triangle button. You'll be sitting there in combat, and all of a sudden you've got, like, 4 things that are all going to be activated by the triangle button. And yeah, you can, like, switch between and like, kind of pick and choose which ones you want to do, but sometimes you'll find yourself in combat and you're just like, fuck, I just want to fight normally. I don't necessarily want to go through this whole, like, animation of, like, Splash Mountain or, like, summoning the fucking Pirates of the Caribbean ship. Like,
that's a little
like,
lame.
sometimes it's just like, I don't necessarily want to, like, do all that. I just want to play normally, Yeah. And that's a little bit of an annoyance, especially when there are certain things. I'll give you an example. So, like I said, the game ties a lot to the triangle button. So, say you did a battle and you have a sort of ticking clock of, like, oh, you have this much time to press triangle and summon the teacups. You know what I mean? But the battle's already over, and now you're just trying to go open a chest. Well, opening the chest is also on the triangle button. So until that timer goes down, you're going to accidentally summon the teacups for no reason.
That's kind of bad. It's a little bad game design.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that slipped through the cracks. Where I'm like, when I'm not in battle, why do I have countdown timers for battle-based things? It's a little weird. So that's really my only major complaint, though, because everything else is so good. They've included all of the gameplay improvements from the previous games, like the flow motion. Like, the game controls so fucking fluidly. Like, the movement is so fucking primo. Like, pretty much any, like, flat surface, you can just straight up run up it seamlessly. If there's like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a street light, you can sit there and, like, dash off of it or spin on it, and it's just, everything just feels so fluid. It's like, it's like beautiful. It's like playing the game, like, feels like butter. It just is so polished. Like, you can really see the years of development on the screen as you're playing the game. It actually kind of sucks because as I'm playing this, I'm like, man, like, if I could just somehow transmit all of my knowledge of Kingdom Hearts to you, you would enjoy the fuck out of this game. Like, I know you would love this game if you somehow could parse its story. I know that you would love playing this game.
It's gone beyond me.
Yeah. But this combat is so fluid that, like, I'm just like, God, like, I wish I could, like, just somehow have you play just play the game, like, without having to play the whole series or catch up or anything like that. I wish you could just play it.
You know I'm a big fan of good combat.
The combat is so good. Being able to switch between the 3 keyblades on the fly and having the transforming weapons and having all the attraction sort of based attacks and the fucking summons. Oh, it's all so good. And it all works like so much more seamlessly than it has any right to. Anyway, I could sit here and gush about Kingdom Hearts like all day. It's just, I did not expect this game to deliver on all fronts the way that it is. And like I said, my only real complaints are so minor. I mean, yeah, do I wish they had more like 2D Disney worlds? Yeah. Because they have Olympus in the game, you know, a Hercules world, right? And that doesn't look stupid. You know, that's based on a 2D property. Why can't you have, you know, I would have loved to see what what some of these other worlds would have looked like. And furthermore, I would have loved if they had some of the new worlds be 2D Disney. There's still 2D Disney movies that I would love to see represented in Kingdom Hearts.
For the most part, though, like the 3D ones are kind of the new things. You know?
They are. You know, I'm a little surprised that Wreck-It Ralph is relegated to just being a summon, because I think he would have been perfect to have his own entire world. I mean, Sugar Rush.
That could have opened up a lot of shit. Yeah, it could have opened up Sugar Rush among other things.
Sugar Rush could have been a mini game right there, just a racing game in Sugar Rush. You know what I mean? Like I always said, I was like, wow, I can't believe Moana isn't a world in this game. That would have been really cool.
And your biggest one is Zootopia.
Yeah, Zootopia would have made so much more sense because like Zootopia, like I said, is like that's a huge hit in Japan. Zootopia is enormous in Japan, and that it would have just been ripe for the picking for Kingdom Hearts. So I'm a little shocked by that too. And I almost I'm really ready for like there to be a little bit of time after the game releases. They release like a nice big art book, so I can see which worlds got cut. You know. But man, it's so good. You know. But fuck, it's like where's my I've always wanted an Emperor's New Groove world. Would have been so good.
Oh my god.
I've always wanted that. I've always wanted Princess and the Frog, which is a very underrated 2D Disney movie.
I enjoy the shit out of that movie.
It's a great movie. Like it's really good. And like it would be really cool to see like, you know, like Dr. Facilier is a really cool villain. And it would have been a very cool boss fight.
The main character I remember, it was like a fucking Firefly, wasn't it?
Yeah, Ray the Firefly. He was good.
That's my boy right there.
He's voiced by Jim Cummings. It was funny because, you know, that movie obviously takes place in New Orleans, and Jim Cummings came to into a convention in Louisiana. Jim Cummings actually lived in New Orleans for like years, so that's why he was able to do that Cajun accent for Ray so well, right? And it was just funny because he was just sitting there at his booth. Like we met him and got some stuff signed, and he's just sitting there the whole time talking to people with his like Cajun accent, like with Ray. It was pretty good. But anyway, it's all a tangent. You know, there are certain things where I'm like, it's not literally perfect. There are little minor issues. There are things that I wish would have been done differently. But overall, like, I'm so satisfied with Kingdom Hearts 3. And I'm just, as I'm playing it, and I've even said this while I'm on the mic with you, like, I can't believe I'm playing this right now. You know? Like, it's so weird. Like, it's so weird to have Kingdom Hearts 3 and to play Kingdom Hearts 3 and for it to be worth the wait. You know? Like, normally games that take forever to come out like this end up disappointing me. And, like, Kingdom Hearts 3 is just everything that I wanted it to be and more.
Yeah.
And is the story still weeb trash? Yeah, of course it is. But that's what I wanted. That's what Kingdom Hearts is. It's gross. It's weeb trash. It's bad. But we love it. But we love it. We love every second of it. And, you know, another advantage of Kingdom Hearts that, you know, I think really should convince anybody to play it is you get to hear Goofy say shit like, we opened the corridor, gosh, we opened the door to darkness, and Kyrie's heart is locked behind the heart.
I don't want to hear that. I'm annoyed that you fucking did it.
That's the kind of stuff that you get to hear.
I don't want to. That's terrible.
It's the best. You're telling me you don't want to hear Goofy say say some shit about the darkness in people's hearts.
I hate it. I fucking just hate it.
It's great. Anyway, and then you get to hear Donald Duck stumble through some of his lines because you can just tell that it's like difficult to do the voice of Donald Duck. Anyway, that's enough. That's enough salivating over Kingdom Hearts 3. The game is very, very good. I'm very, very happy with it. And thank you for enduring my tirade.
It's what I do. No.
Anyway, I think that's gonna do it for us this week, guys. I think we're done salivating here. So, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week. Get fucking dunked on. Bye.
See ya.
Hey there, thanks for checking out another fantastic Nerd Bourbon video. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, be sure to go ahead and subscribe, leave us a like, drop us a nice comment, or I guess a mean one if that's your prerogative. But until next time, get dunked on.